Good evening. Hello. Oh, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a bit of a while, but that's okay. It's all good. I welcome everybody. It's Friday night, so I haven't done one on a Friday night for a while. So, Friday night fever, huh? Haven't we had a few of those in our day? All fun, all good fun. As you know, at the beginning, I will wait till a few people join in. And of course, there's always a bit of housekeeping up front. So if you've read the intro attached to the live, it was all about for a greater chance to have a free reading tonight, to like and share this live feed to your groups or to your own page for a guaranteed reading tonight, and that includes mediumship. If you can just pop, or I should say donate $10 into my PayPal account, which is streaming on the bottom of the of this feed. And also too, yes, I'm just thinking, wow, it's Friday night. So what would people be doing now that it's getting a bit cooler on a Friday night? There's, of course, all your football fans that will be watching the footy or even attending the football. COVID has hit again in Sydney. So I believe still weddings and stuff like that, you can still dance and whatever, but yeah, mask and everything are all back. But that's okay. So I'm just going to share this feed to a few groups, as I said, while everybody's jumping on board. Let me know where you're tuning in from and how has your week been. It's always good to hear how other people's weeks have been. You know, we won't go into mine. We'll just leave that out for a while because everything's fun in mine. But yeah, it's all good. Sorry, as I said, I'm just sharing this, as I hope you guys are doing as well, because that's what it's all about. It's about sharing the love. It's about sharing to as many people as we can, so as you know, many people get to feel what Ms Tique is about. They get to what is the old saying, see her in action as such. So I'm just going to actually see who has jumped on. So good evening, Julie, Breezy, Odette's here. Good evening, lovely. Stella, God love you. Angela, Christine, Ashna. Oh, hello, Ashna again. Brilliant that you're back. David, Jenny, hello. Philippa, hello. Eileen, bless you, hello. You've got your own live starting in less than 25 minutes. Michelle, Vicky, hello. And Jean, hello. Jean must hate me. I still haven't got round to her reading. I'm so bad. Angela, see how I admit it though? I admit my mistakes. I don't have an issue with admitting mistakes. Angela, hello. Kylie, hello. Tammy, Tracy, Lola, Emma, Diana. Okay, so a few people are going to tell me about their week. Odette, Victoria been busy weather-wise. Wear layers. Oh, layers. So we're getting cold there already? Stella, half and half. People are bothering me with their opinions. I don't ask for, but the good thing is that I've done runs that were good and my animals are good. I'm glad your animals are good, and I'm glad that you did so well, excuse me, in that other fun run the other week. And if people are bothering you with your opinions, just remember my favorite saying of everybody has an opinion because everybody is entitled to one, which they are. However, it's what you do with that opinion that matters. So if it doesn't serve you well, or if it doesn't, you know, fit in with the way you think, don't argue about it. Just move on. You know, just kind of, if it's said to your face, I always love the ones that are said to my face. And I go, do you know what? Thank you for your opinion. but I have a different opinion. So let's just leave it at that. And I just walk away because everybody. Excuse me. Like I know. Look, my voice is going already. That's fantastic. I know everybody has an opinion on everything. So if your opinions don't agree, there is absolutely no point in arguing, because arguing is negative. This is going to be good tonight, isn't it? Arguing is negative, and you don't want to bring negativity into your life. So as far as I'm concerned with people's opinions, because they are, I mean, everybody has one, because, and everyone's opinion is actually quite valid to themselves. Okay, so let's get that one straight. People's opinions are valid to themselves, but it's what you do with that opinion that matters. So if you do brush it off, as I advise people to do, then like there's no point living in other people's crap. You know, in my other line of business, and I'm not running anyone down, in my other line of business of, counseling, sometimes I can hear some horrific things, but I can't give an opinion on the matter. I have to deal with it constructively, offer help, offer strategies and all the rest of it. I can't bring a personal opinion into a counseling session. Like, that's just not on. That's very unprofessional. So you kind of learn over time, what you can and can't do. But in normal everyday life, every one of your friends will have an opinion on something. They'll agree with something you do, or something that you're not doing, and it's actually not worth it. Okay. Okay. So let's see who's. So Philippa in cool evening in Brisbane. A little bit of pain, but that makes me know I'm alive. Yeah, pain does that, doesn't it? Okay. It's actually not amethyst, my sweet. It's what is this one? It's actually it's not quite agate, but it's solid. It's a solid blue, and it's not sold like it's. Oh, I'll get it in a minute. It'll come to me. But yeah, she's a she's a little ripper, and she sits on my desk quite often. Or actually, I actually have her normally cradled in hand. By the way, I have these in silver, and in the white, silver and white. I have these in, so I can either have her. She's not going to stand up for me now. I can either have her sitting on the desk standing up, or I can have her. Camera's going funny. I can have her cradled in the hands as such. She's going to fall out if I tilt her any further. But she is a great size that you can just, excuse my fun, but you can put it there. But you can just, play with it in your hand, because it also gives great stuff. Okay. So who else is here? Lynn, Diane. Oh, Diane. She was going to come cruising with me at one point, but she got quite ill. And I read today that struggling with a lot of back pain and now possible hip replacement. So, Diane, as I messaged on your page, I'm sending all my love to you, of course, and hugs. And I know you'll get through it. It's not an easy thing to get through, but, you will. You will. Sorry, just bear with me a second. My page went funny on my phone after I shared it somewhere. Anyway, Michael, when more people join, I'm going to share our news. Beautiful, Michael. Philippa, I said in another group that everyone has an opinion, and just because it doesn't align with yours doesn't make their opinion any less important. Absolutely true, my love. Absolutely true. Emma's week has been overwhelming, but been okay. Yes, Philippa, cleavage pocket does wonders. Do you know what? I'm going to share something funny early in the night. Years ago, if there's anybody that watches this back later, or tunes into it, anyone from my past, when I was young and skinny and whatever, I used to dance on stage at nightclubs, including Jackson's on George and St George Lee's Club and Harwood Diggers and Central Coast and Parramatta Stadium. I used to actually work with the famous Donnie Sutherland from Sounds Unlimited, and I was, believe it or not, I mean, I know I'm a bigger girl now, but believe it or not, I was one of the solid gold dancers, which we used to open like disco shows and all that sort of stuff with. And I used to, every so often back in the day, have not a glass, a jug of Scotch and Coke, because I just couldn't bother going back and forth to the bar, so had a jug, and I never had to ask for it. The bar staff just used to always put it in my dressing room, and I used to like, this is a cute way of earning money back in the day. I used to bet people that I could hold a schooner of beer in between my boobs and lean forward, and they could drink the whole schooner. Anyway, it's pretty funny. So if ever there was video cameras back in the day that, you know, that filmed any of that, I mean, I've got some still photos, but yeah, back in the day, any video of me. Well, there's actually some old TV stuff. I did a few stints on what was it called? Chopper Squad. I was chucked out of a helicopter out in DY Beach, way out the back, and then it was like, pretend that they were saving me, and it was it's one of the front ones. I think it went for about 14 shows. I think I was on number 2, and there was a supposed surf carnival happening on the beach. And what they did, because they were supposedly, chopper lifesavers, and they were all good looking and whatnot and whatever, and they supposedly had to save me from the drowning out the back. But the script was, I was 16. The script was that as they were bringing me back to shore, when they put me on the sand and supposedly resuscitated me or whatever, my bikini top had come off in the rescue, and I had to, pretend it was just nothing and fold my arms and walk up in between this surf carnival thing at DY Beach. Now that's back, as I said, that I was 16. So yeah, I have mountains and mountains of stories. I would be a great comedian. But they're all true. Like, they're not. I know some comedians make stuff up, but mine are all actually true, which is pretty funny. But yeah, Stella, people have been commenting about my appearance and weight. I just tell people, well, my blood tests are fine, my blood pressure is fine, I'm still on a healthy weight. Okay, I'm going to actually stop that there, Stella. You don't have to give people that amount of information. If they comment on it, you can just say, thank you for your concern, I'm okay, and that's it. Because while you're giving them all that information, you are actually justifying your own appearance each and every time. Okay? Not good. Not good. Okay. So I can see I've made a few people laugh already. I've got Jean with all the laughing emojis. Still saying, are you serious? Were you a solid gold dancer? Yes, I was. I actually still have the gold shorts. I'd never fit in them ever again, but yes. Yes, days before social media. Could you imagine how much dirt people would have on me back in the day? Like, seriously. Because I've even got newspaper clippings where Donnie Sutherland actually was getting in trouble. And they were so horrible to him because they had all these newspaper reports that he was sleeping with schoolgirls, blah, blah, blah. So I used to work with him on a Friday night and Sunday night. And on a Sunday night, it was out at Carlingford. And we used to go back to his place for a party. So we never got back there till 1 o'clock in the morning. And there was a few drinks included. But anyway, and he used to drive me to school Monday mornings where I had double commas first thing Monday morning, and I had the most sexiest looking bloody commerce teacher, and I used to be out the back like this, and he'd come and drop books on my desk, and he'd say, why are you always so tired on a Monday morning? And I'd look at him and say, oh, study, sir. I spend all weekend studying. But then one night, him and my science teacher were at the front of the stage staring and watching, and I'm thinking somebody's really zoned into me, and I looked down and I saw it was them, and I've just gone, holy shit. And the next day, man, did I cop it? Did I did I cop it when I got back to school? But anyway, as I said, I've got 1,000 stories, and they are all very, very real, which is the beauty of them all. I have so much material. Angela, yes, good old DY Beach. It's just down the road. It's just right there. I can hear the surf at night. It's awesome. But yeah, so totally great comedian. I reckon I would be. Like, I seriously think I would be, because as I said, I have so many stories that are real. And when they're real and you just emphasize certain parts of them because it's just sometimes so bizarre, they really, like, I have people in stitches, and I sit here going, I'm such an unpaid comedian. But anyway, so yes, my auntie was a Trivoli dancer. Okay, brilliant. Michael, new show, Dancing with the Psychics. Well, we could do that actually, because we used to close the shows with ballroom dancing, so we all had to go and get taught ballroom dancing so we could do it properly at the end of the show. So yeah, we probably could. But dance wise, the old disco music was absolutely awesome. So yeah, look at you all. Sounds like fun. Oh my lord, your stories. Hello, Lisa. Um, what a horrible subject to have first thing Monday morning. I know, double commas, smack bang. After always pulling an all-nighter on a Sunday night, it was just the funniest thing. And and half the time I'd actually still have lipstick on or whatnot, turning up to school. Like, I think when I started doing that on the Sunday nights, I think I hadn't even turned 16. I think I was about 15 and a half. And yeah, it was pretty funny. Pretty funny. Philippa, my cats are staring at me like I have grown an extra head as I'm laughing so much. Rhonda Kelly, hello, good evening. Breezy, hello. Lisa, my dad was a ballroom dancer. I love ballroom dancing. I mean, disco and ballroom are really my cup of tea. I mean, even when Ricky Martin first came out, I knew he was gay since I saw him. Like, yes, he was a good sword, but you could just tell he was gay. Well, I could anyway. But the music and everything that he had as his backing music to his songs was brilliant in its day. Absolutely brilliant in its day. And we are getting so off track, and we're already 20 minutes in, which is just funny. But as I said, I could sit here all night with stuff. Okay, M. Wearing Smith. She has donated $10 into my PayPal account. So I'm going to read for her first, if I can find her, with her question. So I've got here that she's got good evening. So your week has obviously been very busy. That's awesome. Oh, look at that horse. Wow. Is that your horse? A show horse? That's awesome. So let me come down to see if you've actually given me a question. Vicky, laugh at her. I now have disco duck stuck in my head. I could just go out to my lounge room and just run a lot of my CDs, and they really are like a lot of disco, a lot of Michael Jackson. A lot of people actually don't know Michael Jackson, when he did his first outdoor show here in Sydney, was at Parramatta Stadium in 1981 from memory. It was early 82. I still have my ticket, but Donnie Sutherland got me, because I was still working for Channel 7. I actually got to meet him. And it was the most extraordinary thing in my life, because I actually, back then, I had posters of him in my bedroom, all that sort of stuff, the stuff that you do when you're young. And I was so over them. I was so nervous. I wanted to throw up, all these sorts of things. And then I got angry because when I got to meet him, he said, I shouldn't be. When I got to meet him, he clasped my hand like this. So he asked me to put my hand out, and I did. And he just cuddled his fingers into my fingers. And he just looked at me and very, very quickly just said, hello. And he was gone. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Is that it? So at the time, I'm like, really? Is that it? But then after that, like, when he brought out Thriller, he sent me like a picture disc, a double-sided picture disc, and he'd signed it. I have these posters with his original signature on them as well. I have some of these things in a bank vault because now that he has passed away, unfortunately, I have stuff that is worth an absolute fortune. And he, music-wise and whatnot, he was the king. I don't care what. I mean, everyone will have an opinion about it because I'm going to bring up a subject that, people have an opinion about what he did, what he didn't do, and all the rest of it. However, I know certain things for facts, and I'm not going to go into it, but I believe that he is fine. I have so much that's actually worth so much. So that just that split 5 minutes of, hello was the most beautiful encounter that I could have ever have bargained for. I didn't go over for his funeral, but Donnie did, and he sent me he gave me the program and the wristband that they had to wear, and he actually picked up a pure gold like I think it was a quarter or $1 or something rather, and like in a Michael Jackson thing. So the list goes on and on. So I was very blessed to have, a lot of fabulous memories, and I'll certainly know when I get Alzheimer's because I won't remember half of this stuff. But it was just the best years of my life, which is all good. Rhonda's laughing. Rhonda Kelly, good evening. Odette, no way. MJ, hello. Yes, MJ, hello. Grasping my... But I actually connected with MJ before he even passed. I connected with him the night that he had his hair burnt in the Pepsi commercial. And it was like I went for this walk, because I was inside a hospital and I was walking up a corridor and I walked into a room and he was there and his head was bandaged and we had this conversation. And I woke up the next morning and I was just gobsmacked. I'm thinking, where did I go? Because it was so real. And yeah, I have connected with him a number of times since passing, which is just absolutely divine. And I'm so blessed that I can, connect with spirit in that way. It's just awesome. Danina's here tonight. Hello. Thank you. She says, I love that colour on you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Michael, he's a legend, a true artist. Love and light to him. Andrew, good evening. Sari, hello. That's a long one. You're coming in from South Africa. Wow. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to the lovely Michelle because she's donated $10 for the exchange of energy into my PayPal account. So I'm going to go into her where her message is. I'm trying for a new direction, very overworked. Michelle, you've been overworked for a while. What are you talking about? Like just asking that question now. You've been overworked for a long time. But I even want to say to you, I don't know how long you've been in this role, but even the role previously, you seem to have gone down the same route, and that's not your fault. What I see there is that, to be brutally honest, what I see there is, and I want to take it back to 3 roles, like 3 important jobs that you've had. You seem to get in there, and this is going to sound really weird, but I say everything with the greatest respect. You seem to get in there, and you're so, like your heart, you have a heart of gold. But you seem to think that you've got to do more per day than what is, expected of you as such. And I mean, it's because you throw yourself in there like 200%. But in saying that, each time, and I want to say to you, it's happened to you 3 times. Each time you've done this, then whoever you're working for has then got used to, and I've said this previously to someone else. I'm sure of it because it seems to ring a bell. You seem to give up certain amount of lunch breaks. You seem to, start before you're supposed to. You seem to leave after you're supposed to. But when you do this more than, half a dozen times, it then becomes actually expected of you. So when it's expected of you, you kind of go to leave on time one day and someone says, well, where are you going? Because they all seem to think that, they're the crazy hours that, that you love to do. But, you need to, with all due respect, you need to kind of pull yourself up on that and give yourself a bit of a kick and say, do you know what? I value who I am and they should value what I give them between 9 and 5. And if you can't fit something in between 9 and 5, then you allow it to roll over to the day after. Because, Rome wasn't built in a day. And if you can't get something done, the more you push yourself to actually get it done in a certain amount of time, again, then you're expected, like if it's a project, for instance, you're then expected that the next time a project is due, that all of a sudden, you're running around like a blue ass fly, excuse my French, but you're running around to get it done because you're trying to outbeat, the time that it took you before. And I mean that with the greatest respect. And so it's almost like you're getting competition with yourself. And that's something that the subconscious actually takes over. And sometimes you're actually very unaware of all this. Because when the subconscious takes over, you kind of, how do I say it? You then have no say in the matter. Because the subconscious just thinks it's reality. Do you know what I mean? So there's a little bit of changes that need to go up in that. And also, too, like I've just drawn a couple of cards for you. I actually just want to touch on, the way you feel in the actual role that you're in. Because to me, you're using the words you're very overworked. I'm hearing the words that you're feeling a bit of insecurity. Now, if that's got to do with COVID, then so be it. But what I want to say to you is that what I hear from Spirit is that because you do and do and do, and now you're getting a bit tired, you're still doing, and you're still, how do I say, you're still trying to outbeat yourself and get things done, but it's not gratifying. And you're not doing it to get a pat on the back. It's this adrenaline rush now that you have with yourself, even though some days you say to yourself, do you know what, I need to slow down, I need to absorb this, and I need to just, do things, like at a certain pace. But then the adrenaline kicks in, and when the adrenaline kicks in, and then you're just, working off the adrenaline, again, you come into this race with yourself. That has to stop. I ask it to stop, because if it doesn't stop, it's almost like you will do that in the next one as well. Okay. Now for you, are you headed in a new direction? Do you know what? If you actually put your mind to it, there's something that you used to do, and I probably want to say, Spirit, where are we going with this? Okay, I don't know how old you are. But whatever you did when you were 28, so Spirit has hit me with 28. So whatever you did when you were 28, you need to have a look at that. You need to kind of go back to that. You need to kind of say, do you know what? That is kind of an era that I liked. Okay, you've just hit me with your 60. Okay. Oh, buddies, that's what I am too. Shh, don't tell anyone. Oh, don't tell anyone. See how my stories are funny now? But anyway, back to you. Whatever you did between the ages 28 and 34 is where Spirit is taking me. Those, oh wow, okay. So I'm hearing that in one of those years, something was quite tough. There was something that happened in one of those years that was actually quite, I don't want to use the word debilitating, but that's the word they threw at me, so I have to say it. Something happened to make you get out of why or what you were doing between those years, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of that that's going on. However, being 60, it's not always, and look, you're only as young as who you're feeling. I mean, my bloke's 11 years younger when he behaves himself. He's in the dog box at the moment, but, he can stay there for a while as far as I'm concerned. Too old for that shit. but anyway, again, that's a different story. But I have to look at what you were doing between the ages of 28 and 34. Now, if it was something that was really taxing on your body, you're probably not going to be able to do that again. But is there a roundabout? I'm hoping that you're going to jump in and let me know what it was. But is there something that maybe you don't go into it full time like you did before? And Philippa, I'm such a cougar, you have no idea. There's a story about that too. It's actually live on bloody Dave Hughesy, We Have a Problem. The story's out there. It's still, in 4 years, it's the highest rating show. I did that in 2019. Talked about my younger lover. See how I get sidetracked? My goodness. But Michelle, like I don't fully believe, and I'm not hearing it from Spirit either, I don't fully believe that whatever you did between those years, you can actually go back and do that full time now. I think it would be really taxing on your back. So, okay, have you jumped in? Let me have a look. No, that's just someone else laughing at me. Showing ponies and chef. Hence the picture of the horse. Okay, so would you be able to do chefing full time? Probably not. Showing ponies, could you do that part time? Could you actually go into have a stab at me if you wish, but with the chef side of what you do, is there something on a smaller scale that you can do and you can sell? Like, whether it be, okay. I don't know if you're going to like this. Spirit just threw at me like meal prepping. If you can meal prep for people and sell them, or just go into the line of possibly baked treats or whatever, and again, sell them, because you know the ingredients, you know that you can do them healthy, someone wants them unhealthy, you can do it that way as well. But there's something in that. I don't see you going back to chefing full time, and I don't see you going back to showing ponies full time, but there's something in that. And now you've just asked me that you're wanting to move. I have to, okay. What's the time frame on this? I actually don't see it for another 6 months. I have to tell you that. But I do see contracts, I do see paperwork, and I do see bargaining. Okay. You've jumped at me again. Great. I love it. Wanting to move and show ponies, yes, could work like that. Okay, good. I probably wouldn't say that you would be, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but going to 60 and then moving on to, your 62, 65s and so forth, do I see you really, getting out there all the time showing ponies? Probably not, but having your hand in it to possibly get them ready to because they're big days. I don't have horses or anything. I haven't worked around them or whatnot, but I can just imagine they're really big days, and that could be very taxing on the body. But I want you to look at baking some stuff or some fresh stuff or whatever. Moving 6 months. I don't know what you've got your eye on, because I think you already know the area you want to go to, because I see contracts. Okay, so contracts being exchanged, contracts. What is wrong with that contract? Okay, pricing. Okay, beat them down in price. Don't look at the contracted price when you see the area that you want. And to me, Spirit is laughing at the contracted price. So it's a matter of straight away beating them down. Okay. Oh my goodness, you have 32 Welsh ponies. My God, you're a legend, woman. Do you groom them and do that all day, every day? Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine that at 60. Like, seriously. Holbrook. Okay. Danina, who's my bestie, she's on here. Her parents live at Holbrook. They've got a place down there. I believe it's very, very nice. Okay. Wow. You now just won my Legends Award tonight, lovely Michelle. You just said yes to you looking after 32, and here I am saying that Spirit's telling me that that you're not going to be looking after, that amount of horses from dusk to dawn, other way around, dawn to dusk. See, I'm getting flippant with Spirit now. Wow, you're a legend, my love. But 6 months, have a go at beating down the contract, because you'll win. I probably wouldn't suggest laughing out loud when you see the price on the contract, like behind closed doors, and be very, how do I say this? Be very vague in addressing the contract. Okay, so don't put out there your smartest version of you, if that makes sense, because I want you to kind of look a bit. Mel, gorgeous little friend from Melbourne, she's on here too. Oh, thank you. See, everyone's telling me I'm looking amazing. I'll get a big head. I won't be out. I'll be like this. I'll block out my mistake sign. It's, if you come across that you know certain things and that you're really confident in certain things, already other people get their back up. So in this particular contract, if you can come across it and sort of like just say, oh, yes, not sure about this, not sure about that, I'll get someone to look at that, and bide yourself a bit of time, because that time will enable you to be able to, have a good crack at getting some like building and surveys reports and whatnot, and definitely be beating them down the price. Like I see like 20 grand different. Off the cuff, 20 grand. You could get more. But Spirit is showing me 20, so I have to run with that. So I hope all that helps, my love. And thank you for allowing me to read for you. So, who else is in my train of reads tonight? Okay, Andrew has exchange of energy donated $10 into my PayPal. So let me find young Andrew. Andrew, I haven't seen your name whiz past me for a little while. If you can please pop your question up, that would be awesome. And let me know what your... Wow, there's a lot of people on here, isn't there? Thank you, Michelle. It was a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Jordan, I like how you're jumping in there and telling me, oh yes, you're the guy that fixed my phone. I welcome you. I'm glad that you can join. You said you were going to join on my last one. I didn't see you. And there was this other man that said something. And I said, oh, I held up my phone. I said, are you the gentleman that worked on this? And he said a quick no. So yes, I'm glad you, I'll be down there on Tuesday. So I might pop in and say hi. Okay, Andrew, where are you? I have you back. Good. Guess I'm curious to know about either love or finances. You choose. Oh, you're leaving it in my hands, my sweet. Let me see. Let me see what I've got for you, my love. It's a funny night, the good old Friday night, isn't it? I don't think I've done one on a Friday night for a while. I've just pulled one of the greatest cards for you, my love. Let me grab another just to see we're on the right. Okay. Andrew, you're either going to love me or hate me or somewhere in between. But you do that anyway. I know you love me. And actually, that picture is the picture I actually have on my page. How interesting. Okay. So, bit of a... the universe provides what we need to hear. I know, my sweet. However... Oh, Jordan, is it going to be your day off on Tuesday? Oh, bugger. Oh, well. I'll catch up with you. Anyway, Andrew, focus is on you. Now, well, I've actually pulled 3 cards for you, and I've said it's going to be like a roller coaster, and it absolutely is. Now, I need to kind of... I know that picture, when you look at me like that in that picture, I get always get a bit goosebumpy, but I have to go with exactly what I've got here. Okay, so within the last year, and I want to say, remove COVID out of the way, like just let's just push that aside for a minute, because that's another year. So let's kind of go from, let's pretend we're going from halfway through 2019 to the first half of this year, okay? Just those like 6 months of the last 2019 and the beginning of 2021. I just want to remove COVID out of the scenarios and that for a while. I actually want to say to you that what I feel and what I got in one of the cards is that somebody that you really wanted to get to know, somebody that you really wanted in your life, and somebody that you wanted to share a lot of personal stuff with, you kind of thought you had. And and again, I say everything with the greatest respect, but it's like I'm being shown that you went to, and probably half did, divulge some really personal stuff with this particular person. And it was like they slapped you in the face. I mean, not physically, but it's like they kind of, excuse me, it's like they just kind of went, you know what? I want something out of you, but I don't want to hear about all that stuff. Does that make sense? And then from that point, it was kind of like on a downhill shaft where parts of you, I want to say, was really hurt. Parts of you were like, oh my God, I wouldn't treat someone like that. So why am I being treated like that? I also want to say to you that you had come out of your shell to, like, to experience and to learn more, in the whole metaphysical world. But I think that this person like really made you like kind of shut back off and go, do you know what? I'm going to kind of go back and hide and go back, and sit around and do bugger all type thing, because now I kind of don't trust in the universe. I thought I met someone that I can trust. I thought I could divulge certain things to them. I thought I could share certain things with them. And of course you couldn't. So I hope that this person is actually not in your life anymore. But I also hope that you're able to put yourself freely back with the universe that gave you some healing. And if you're not healed 100%, please reach out to me. Please let me know. And then, there might be a day that, that we could get together, or whether it's, I don't know where you live, but, if it has to be over the internet or whatever, have a session with me so I can uproot some of that negativity and get it out. Because where you have what I felt from spirit and in the cards, this emotional loss, like when I felt that, it was almost like that, you say that you want to open up your heart, but internally, your your heart is not like, or your subconscious is not allowing your heart to open fully for that very reason. And I feel quite sad about that, because you're a person that, is so worthy of love. It's you're worthy of someone being in your life that you can share, good, bad, and the ugly with. And part of you has lost trust in the metaphysical world, but your intuition, your gut is telling you that it is safe and it's okay. You've responded 100%, but I've recently let it go and have changed my mindset and connected again. Also, fabulous, fantastic. I'm so pleased that you jumped in with that, because you jumped in a bit too soon, but that's okay. But that's okay, because that's telling me that what Spirit is saying is actually what you've gone through, and I felt it so deeply. But I also wanted to say that, something that is still, and as much as if you're having a Reiki session, it might get rid of the tail end of it, but I still want to say to you that there is something in there from that, but also, correct me if I'm wrong, but also something previously, even prior to that I feel is just niggling away at you. And sometimes it really takes on the doubt. Sometimes it's very, I have to say, I hate it when people doubt themselves, or they not trusting in their self-worth, or not loving themselves, in that way, because, you deserve it, and you really got a really kind soul. However, what I see happening, and I just have to laugh because this was the third card. that was why I was laughing, because as much as we had the broken heart one, I got that one as well. So I know that there's something in the pipeline, but I do want to say to you that until you're fully released, and I use the word release in the most respectful way, it's very close in the love department as in like partner-wise, rather focused on love for my family and those around me. And look, that's great. That's great that you want to share your heart with them, but please don't keep your heart closed, because what I feel with you, and it comes back to this self-worth about this, person that just threw some of your things to the curb, as I can only say it in that way. But loving yourself, trusting in yourself will automatically allow your heart to open. And when it does open, it's your outer energy field that changes, because you don't have like much control no one has in your outer energy field. It's what you're deeply feeling in your subconscious or something that's trapped away that actually controls your outer energy field. So even if somebody is the happiest person in the world, they can still give off a cold outer energy, because what that is, that takes on the guts of what you're really feeling inside. Look, if I say to everybody every day, I'm fantastic, and I'm actually not, I can still throw off a cold outer energy field. Do you know what I mean? So that can be tough. But I actually want to say to you that when you do some work on yourself, and if you do allow me at some point to help you work through that, and we do, it will bring so much joy to your heart, so much love and respect for yourself, that you are automatically switching on that good outer energy. And the and in okay when your outer energy switches to good, you will find, but I don't see it till September. So we're actually going to go through winter with you, working on yourself, healing yourself, focusing on, and I understand that you still want to have love and respect and help your family and all that sort of stuff, and loving all the friendships you have where people are good friends to you, but that all can come into fruition. But you need to do that for yourself as well, because when you miss out on yourself and worry about everybody else, and you're giving all them all the love and respect and wonderful times with you, you're not giving it to yourself. So there will still always be part of Andrew that's missing. And I don't mean to sound like I'm lecturing or getting upset. It's more about, if you keep giving to everybody and don't give a fraction to yourself, you're never going to get past that little wheel. Do you know what I mean? So my love for you, as much as I had great cards, I had one crappy card, but great cards, it's more about coming back to the reality of, you can still love your family, love everybody around you, help so many people and all that sort of stuff. You just popped in again. I had a dream that my will bring about a great change. I'm born in August. Well, there you go. I saw it early September. So we're kind of on the, you're already, you're listening to your, you're listening to your inner guides. You're listening to your own intuition. But what I want to say at the same time is you're not fully trusting in it, though, because if you're fully trusting in it, you would learn that, you're okay as a person. Start liking who you are. If you like your mom, your dad, your dog, your friends, you have to also be able to look in the mirror and like yourself at the same time. Otherwise, the energy is not balanced. It's thrown out of whack. And even with Reiki, if you still can't like yourself, the Reiki can heal a certain part. And I'm not questioning whoever's doing the Reiki, but what I'm saying is, if you get the Reiki done, but still doubt yourself and still want to, excuse my French, but I have to say it because Spirit is saying it in my ear, if you still want to put shit on yourself, and I do apologize for that, but that's what they're saying, then the Reiki is not going to fully do what it's meant to do. Because it will give you a clear way in life ahead, but you'll still have parts of you that are stuck. So I need you to be wary of that. So maybe, I know you said the Reiki session was coming up, but maybe look at some healing on you, being able to express certain things out and own it and all that sort of stuff, and can't start coming loving into you before you have that Reiki session. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll have the Reiki. No disrespect to the Reiki practitioner, but it will be like you'll be wasting your money because you will still have that part of you left behind. Do you understand? So if you need any clarification on that, or if you want to have a session with me, just let me know. We can sort all that out. We truly can. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. Okay, now I did see someone else has done an exchange. It's a very long, so it's, oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to take that off screen. Take that off screen and try and read it elsewhere because it's rather long. Okay, so here we have, I have 2 questions. Can you please look into my son's mental health and see if he'll be okay? He's having many nightmares replaying in his head, and I'm not sure if it's what he's watching or if there's a mental health problem, please. Will he be okay? My second question is, I recently met a man who I'm trying to walk away from. He's very nice in quite a manipulative way, and I'm wondering if I just walk away and leave, will there be issues with him? Wow. Is there any more to that? No, maybe not. Okay. Okay, so I will thank you so much. Two very important questions. I don't know how old your son is, but I'm wary anything to do with psychic. I do have to kind of alert you to this. I mean, I will go to a certain length with it, but anybody who is under the age of 18, we are ethically, we're not really supposed to read for because we don't have their permission. And also, too, that person is not here with their energy. And again, we don't have permission. Respectfully, generally, if we are reading for someone else, that person has to give permission. I know he's your son, and I know what you're saying. So I'll wait to see what Spirit says to me on that one, because Spirit will guide me into some answers for that. But I would probably not go into that in a huge amount of detail. But I'm going to look firstly at your second question. This particular gentleman, what I hear, with all due respects, what I hear is he's quite a, what is that word? It's an old word. Casanova? I couldn't quite. Spirit was throwing it at me, and I'm kind of like, what are you talking about? And I'm thinking, my God, that's such an old word. I haven't heard it for such a long time. But I guess why they've used that word is because then they're seeing him as a person who, I mean, you use the word nice in a manipulative way. Spirit is using that, the word of the Casanova, who very kind, very gentle, always looks great in public with people, like always will show their best side. So it's always about and these are just random, pulling out your chair, opening car doors, getting you drinks and making you, like the belle of the ball type thing in a restaurant, and making sure, and I say this with respect, kind of making sure that he is seen in this particular way in public. So I want to say to you that probably in public everything is rosy, but behind closed doors there's a different side of him that comes to fruition. Yeah. And Spirit also told me that within the last week, possibly the last 2 weeks, well, that he has said a couple of words to you that he's directed at you that aren't very nice. And they're 2 words that kind of bounce into your character. So that's where they're, that's where they're throwing me to, words that have been spoken to you directly about questioning your character. And I want to say to you, almost trying to what they're showing me is like almost trying to twist some of the things that you do. You know, it's a tough line, because where I see and I feel, and they're showing me this charm. I guess the charm can be a little overwhelming, but Spirit is saying that's actually underwhelming in what you have seen in other ways. Yeah. So it's, and I guess you're the only one that's privy to, you know, other things that have been said behind closed doors. But I also see him as a like a taller man than yourself. But I want to actually say to you, is there times that he kind of looks down? Because I get this. What Spirit showed me is he looks down at you to talk to you, but he talks, and that's exactly what they said. He talks at you, not with you. So talking at you instead of with you. So to me, that's a person that can be also too quite arrogant, quite self-absorbed, and someone who, you know, we spoke earlier in the night of, you know, opinions. It's almost like, you know, his opinion would be, in his eyes, founded as being the only opinion and the only correct, you know, opinion in a discussion. So I feel there's a bit of concern there. Yes, I do. Um, yeah, sorry, I just read something else from you. I'm worried he'll try to look for me if I leave. Do you know what? Controlling wise, possibly where that he'll want to know where you're going and who you're going with and why you're going and what's wrong with him. And I want to say to you, the minute that you kind of make up your mind, I'm not going to make up your mind for you. It's a case of what I hear from Spirit, that, you know, about his about how he's acting out to you, is that if you make the decision to go, sure, he'll want to know where you're going and you know what you're doing, but that's the controlling side of him. But sweetheart, what I want to say to you also too, if you stay, he's always going to want to know where you are 24 hours of the day. He's always going to say to you, oh, you had $10 in your wallet this morning, why have you only got $5 left? What did you spend that $5 on? So the controlling and the gaining of information all the time is going to be there regardless. But with you being out of the picture, he will learn, and it might take some time, he will learn that you're now not under his control. Do I think that's dangerous? The word dangerous has not come in from Spirit. Do I think it's concerning? It will be for a little while, but I actually don't see in his nature the violent side. And I'm very, very particular with that, because I look after a lot of domestic violence victims. And I sense and I see and I hear that at times he's raised his voice, and he's been very condescending to you and kind of attacked your character. But do I see that physical force? No, I don't. Push his wrong buttons, and there could be arguments, of course, but I just don't see that one step further. And Spirit aren't telling me to tell you to look over your shoulder. So when Spirit says look over your shoulder, I then take notice, and I'm actually not getting that. It's more about, and to be perfectly honest, what Spirit comes through with, it's more about he's controlling by putting you in a fear factor. And if you live your life by fear, then it will consume you. So you will start to think every minute of the day that you've got to look over your shoulder, because you've talked yourself into that fear factor. And I am saying everything with the greatest respect. You know, I'm not here to, you know, be condescending or anything myself, because I've been there, done that. You know, I've been involved in domestic violence. They put you in a fear factor where you're too scared to leave, that you feel like, you know, the minute you do, they're going to chase you down the street, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And look, the news will tell you that obviously some do, but in hindsight, I don't hear it from Spirit. So I'm very, very mindful of that, okay? Very, very mindful of that. The other question, which I'm not going to pop it back up on the screen, but the other question in regards to your son, look, there are things that have gone on. I actually want to say to you, two people that he is associated with at school have wronged him, and therefore he's lashing out at you. With all the dreaming, is it an overactive mind? Yes, it is. Is there something really wrong? No, there's not. If you take him, and I do holistic counselling myself, love, and in counselling, he will be able to speak his own mind, and possibly without anyone else listening, he'll be able to speak his own mind and put it out there. I think actually, to be perfectly honest, I think the two people that are doing something to him at school or wherever, I think he's a bit frightened to speak up to you. And I think he's also doesn't want to be that, person known as the dobber, because things could get worse, and he could get bullied probably a lot more. So I believe the acting out is the anger and the anxiety around it, that he doesn't know how to deal with. And when people are young, when they're filled with anxiety, they actually don't know how to control it, and it can turn into a like a full-blown panic attack. So be mindful of that as well, because you could go into one of those. I thought it was about school, because when I bring it up here, be mindful of that. And I know, and it's hard. It's hard for. It's just really hard for some people that when they're not normally a dobber, it's hard. It really is hard. Okay, and but I feel that with your care and the stuff that that he's able to speak with as a counsellor, and if you need another counsellor on board, then I'm happy to put my hand up as well, where he can I don't know where you live, but you can be totally out of the area as such, to work through a whole lot of things with him, and get him to feel safe, and that to open up. So I hope all that has helped you. I hope I've helped clarify a few things for you. So I look forward to you letting me know, though, how it all goes. Okay, so thank you so much for your questions. Truly appreciate that. Now, next I have Philippa. Philippa, have you asked me a question, though? Okay. You have too. I've just read your thing. Yeah, can you just cancel that on your end and do it the other way? That would be good. That would be good. Just go back into your PayPal and cancel. I love it. People are requesting money from me. That's fantastic. Just go in and cancel it, and it will come up cancelled at my end, and then go back and try that again. In the meantime, I'll wait for that, but I'm now going to jump to Jordan, my tech-savvy phone man. Everybody hates that I'm going to call me that. I'm going to call him that. Look at that. Yes, you are. Philippa, just go back into your, I know that you've just come up and said you don't know how to. Just go back into your PayPal and press cancel. It will cancel it out of my end, and it will cancel it out of your end. Or do you want me to cancel it? I don't know if I can cancel it at my end. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Oh no, you've done it. Look at that. You've done that. There you are. So you didn't need me. Okay, Jordan, my love, can you throw me a question on what you're excuse me, what you're hoping I come up with. Now, while I'm waiting for Jordan, and now that I've got some of you guys' attention, and Michael, I'm not sure if you're still here. If you can jump in, Michael, and say hi if you're still here. I do have an announcement. I've asked Michael to come on board, and this is the other side of my business with psychotherapy and holistic counselling. I've asked Michael DeMarco, who I'll put him up. Jordan, I'll just move you for a second. I'm just going to put Michael up. So that's Michael, everybody. Hello, Michael. Welcome. And I've asked Michael to collaborate with me on an area. Yes, my counselling and everything, because I'm qualified and whatnot. I have private sessions with a lot of people, and that, of course, costs money. But and Michael too is a counsellor, and what I've decided to do, and we had this conversation only last night, but I have set up a Facebook page, and it's called Reach Out Q&A Live TV, and we will be organising probably one night or one day a week, Michael, if that's in agreement. Or depending on how it goes, we could do two. Who knows? But at this stage, it will be coming soon. The Facebook page is set up, so you can go on and jump on Facebook and look up Reach Out Q&A. Just lost what I was going to say there. Reach Out Q&A Live TV. Get it right. Now, what we're going to do, this will be all about having open discussions that will be live and interactive like this is, because I will do it on this thread, and under the different banner, of course, and we will be creating awareness for anyone with domestic violence, sexual assault, anyone who's had any past traumas that have to do with that, or just past traumas in general. And Michael's just put up the link. Thank you so much, Michael. I'm glad I've got my offside here. You can do some work for me. This will be, like an open forum as such. But I will say already up front, I'm sure Michael will be in in cahoots with the same sort of thing. We can't, every time we do the live forum and the Q&A, we can't go into huge amounts of depth with one question just in one show. We have to kind of spread it out. So and I'm going to say this loud and clear here, if you're at any point in danger, then you don't come onto the forum to ask questions of how you can get out of life-threatening scenarios. You would then ring 000 straight away and get yourself out of that. You know what I mean? Or get help to get out of that. What we will be doing is creating awareness on when people have been through that, or recently, or past history, or whatever else, how everything can affect your mental health, how everything can affect your physical being, how everything going through some of these traumas affect your relationships in life and all this sort of stuff. So we will be here to go through some of that, and I even said on Facebook today, and sometimes if people want to sign up with an email address or whatever, and I can send out fact sheets or information on, if we touch on a subject, whether it be self-worth or depression or whatever, after going through an incident like that, or then I'll create something that I can send you that you have, whether you build a folder on that and have that as your own information, then so be it. So we will be doing that sort of thing. So that is another offset of everything I do. And Michael also too has his own that he'll be starting up. Michael's in Port Douglas, and Michael has his own Purple Speech, where he'll be doing some podcast and stuff as well. So, and which he will probably have me as a guest on that as well. So it's a collaboration between the both of us that have studied these particular fields, and we're everything we do here is helping people connect with spirit and all that sort of stuff as well, in all the psychic realm. And the other side of us, or myself, being a holistic counselor and stuff like that. Well, we're just trying to do our best to help as many people as we can under sometimes duress circumstances. Okay, so I hope everyone's going to enjoy that, and we'll have an announcement soon on when we're actually going to start that. So thank you, Michael, for being here and putting the link up on the page. That is awesome. So back to Jordan. Jordan's probably fallen asleep now. I think you wrote something before that. Hang on a sec. I have a few questions. Oh, you only allowed one. No, I'm kidding. I have a few questions in regards to my family. I've had a few who were close pass away and others that live overseas, like my dad, not contact me for years. Okay. And what was the other one? If my one who has passed, if they are happy, and the one who are overseas alive and well. Okay. Jordan, just let me have a look for you and then let me connect with Spirit. Okay. Now I actually have a gentleman here that okay. Wow. I actually have a gentleman here. Okay. Did you say? Do I need to go back? Did you say that you didn't talk to your dad? It's not my dad. Not contact me for years. Okay. Okay. Okay, because the gentleman that I have with me currently, I actually want to say is, oh shit, is that a spider? Oh, sorry. It's sidetracked very easy when there's a spider around the place. I actually want to say to you that he's quite a tall man, but very, how do I say this? Very, very robust. But also too has an attitude of a very matter of fact. Not in an arrogant way, but very matter of fact. Did he have other, and pardon me for getting a bit personal, but did he have other family members, like obviously not yourself because you're here, other family members that are like were over there with him? In hindsight, like, Spirit is sort of saying, like, did you have other siblings that weren't your direct line of sibling? So a stepbrother, for instance. Because what he's showing me is arms around someone I don't believe that is you, but I believe it's a brother or a stepbrother or such. Because I don't see a very solid connection with the person he has his arm around. So is it a brother or is it an uncle? I just see him with arms around someone that I want to say is shorter than him, but younger. So I know you popped up that his parents are there, but I'm not talking about his parents. Like I'm talking about another sibling or a cousin or something or other. Okay, you're talking to the one of the 5 he has had just a couple of hours ago. Okay, which is probably why he's showing me with his arm around it, because it's probably just recent. The gentleman that he has his arm around, I actually want to say to you that at times, and possibly not tonight, because by the feel of what you like in your comment, the feel of that was going okay, but in the past there have been some words brought through in anger, words brought through in voices raised, words brought through, and I guess I want to say hurt words from yourself in having to deal with a dad that didn't connect with you very often. And I actually want to say to you, and I don't know whether it's going to touch on the too personal, but there's parts of you I don't feel that are whole. There's parts of you that you've felt for a long time that there's just something missing in your life, and I don't want to say that your life would have been better with your dad in it, but I guess I want to say that the love you feel from a parent, you would have felt a bit more of self-value, of self-worth, if you had felt that love coming through from your dad. So, losing dad also too, in a sense where I see, I really don't think he's military, but he stands in front of me as if he is, and that's annoying when they're not military, because it's like he wants to stand over me. It's like he wants to try and control what comes out of me. And I guess there's some things there that he's attacked my throat, which is kind of normal with spirit these days. It's kind of like there's probably a few things he doesn't want me to say, if that makes sense. Coming to you though, you as a person, you've got to take ownership of you and understand that it's tough. I understand that at times you don't feel whole because it hasn't been like you haven't been brought up around that male figure as such. You haven't had the security of a dad that you could go to and talk to about certain things to. You haven't been able to, word I hear from spirit, or my spirit guide is, you haven't been able to download some stuff to dad, that he can give you that that honest advice. It's more about at times when you may have been around him a very young age, it was like he was condescending. It was like, and this is what he's trying to project with me now, it's like that he wants to stand over and talk above me, which is why he's squashing my voice further down and not wanting me to speak. So he's a man of I want to say great power, but there's something that he did. As I said, I don't think it was actually military as such, but as I said, he comes across like he's military, and he wants to talk to me as if he's sharp and if he is military, but I don't believe that he actually is, because I don't know whether he's trying to pull off, this control type manner, that he wants to be in control of everything all the time, and really not allow anyone to talk over him or to have their say. And I think that is the again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is some of the beef that you've had with the other siblings, where I feel, not so much now, but I feel over time previously there was a few tit for tats on certain things. But I also know that you, regardless of him not being in your life very much, there was also a sense of great sadness when he passed. And I want to say to you that, I think it's more that you felt like, wow, my dad's passed. I didn't get to say goodbye to my dad, but did I really know him at the end, type thing. And that kind of produces another type of sadness, but also too, it's produced in you like a type of guilt, where now I think that you're holding on to what I want to say. Okay, yeah, with my stepdad's kids, yeah, I figured as much. I actually want to say to you that there's the guilt that you're hanging on to. Uh, the guilt that you're hanging on to, though, is I guess it's because you don't have that communication with him. I guess when that communication was lost, um, that I have a dilemma going on with spirit now. I have a dilemma. I'm hearing all this stuff about your dad. Your dad is presenting himself to me. Um, like he's in control and like he is in spirit world, but the person, I don't think it's your dad. I think he is showing. Look, I think we've got a cross connection with spirit. I think I'm being shown a relative as such, but I think that they taught the oh, I have to get this right. I think the passed over relative is showing me the way your dad is and the way your dad has been controlling in your life and the way that you feel that there's been back and forth banter, there's been back and forth things that, have probably been said that shouldn't have been said. I have to I've kind of got 5 spirits just yelling at me now. And I'm trying to make them get to stop so I can just speak to one at a time because it's really driving me nuts. Because this is where information just blurts out of me, but it gets confused because I'm hearing so much at the same time. So I do have in total 5 people here. Now, one I believe is an older version of your dad. So whether that's a granddad that's passed or an uncle that is older that has passed, then so be it. But I'm being shown, and there's arm around this other person that is shorter. I'm being shown all the stuff that is projecting on you from your dad. So let's get that straight, okay? The way your dad is, unfortunately, is not going to change. And I want to say to you, with all due respect, he's very, very opinionated. And somewhere in years gone by, and I don't see it in the last 5 years, but so I want to even go further back, that he has said some things that have made you stop and think about why you're here. Now, that came through just very loud and clear there. And I want to say to you, thank God you didn't listen to a lot of that, because for you to doubt why you're even here is just absurd, because you have a heart of gold, but you do question certain things about yourself. And I'm just wondering whether that's because you don't have this male dad figure inputting so much in your life. I do have to wonder about that. And where is who has the white dog? There is always a white dog jumping up on what I believe to be is your granddad. And if you can please confirm this for me, the granddad figure that I have that is also quite military, even though I don't believe was in the military, has a walking stick. Apparently he's had that walking stick for quite some time before he passed as well. And seems to really walk with a slant. So I want to say that maybe his pelvic region was maybe busted somewhere, and there seems to be a slant, and therefore it really couldn't be corrected. I don't know if you can validate or jump in with any of this. Yep, I remember the situation. Okay. So we've kind of got that a bit clearer, because there's just 5. There seems to be so many people that want to talk to you, my love. But everybody was like throwing themselves at me at once, and it was just, sometimes I have to sort of just close my eyes and not speak out aloud, but talk, telepathically type thing, to be telling spirit to calm down a bit, so I can kind of siphon through everything that has, gone on. Okay, Michael had a white dog. He had 3, and yes, he always had a walking stick. Okay, thank you very much for validating that. It's a tough world for you, I want to say, with having so many. Where I say the other side, I mean both ways. So many being like overseas, and you not being able to see, to connect, and you've got COVID chucked in there as well. But you're doing so well over here. Please don't ever question that with yourself. But also too, then there's so many of your relatives that have also passed overseas, and unfortunately, you can't attend everything. But there's parts of me that also want to say to you that you are feeling guilty about not being able to attend a lot, but you don't have to be. You are thousands of miles away. You don't have to be at everything. And I know probably your culture, or when you were younger, that everybody used to rally, everybody used to do all this stuff and whatnot, and that's fabulous. However, you can't do it all now. You can rely on your you know, um, uh, what do you call it, like, technology and stuff like that. But I know that's tough. And you've just jumped in. I'm not going to put this question up on the screen. No, I don't think he has. I'm not even going to say the question out loud. I don't think he has. I think with everybody coming to me at once, there was a lot of, like, because I had my own spirit guides as well. So I had my spirit guides telling me something. I had your granddad telling me something. I had, like, the dog, jumping around and carrying on like a bit of a pork chop. Excuse my French of saying that, but that's how it was kind of all happening in front of my eyeballs and showing me characteristics of your dad. So your dad personally wasn't coming through as such, but your granddad was showing me and talking to me about characteristics of your dad and how some of the things that you've tolerated or you've put up with or that's happened to you, and that. But I also want to say, and I will finish off with this, that, and I don't know whether you want to talk to me personally about this later or another time or whatnot, or whether you want to have a session with me as such, but I don't know your age now, but I want to say to you, like, when you were, where are we going, Spirit? Come on. I've got your granddad again. So when you were 19 and just past your 20th birthday, so between 19 and 20, there was a drama situation go on there. Okay, something that I feel, I'll say it the best way I can, something that really stripped you of your own self-love, your own self-worth for a little bit of time, only a little bit of time. You bounce back. However, you, in bouncing back and you were able to move forward, there are still some things that happen in everyday life now that trigger you to that particular situation or scenario. Yeah. And I'm not going to touch on that any further because I think it's far too personal on an open forum. But if you can relate to that, just let me know. And if I'm seeing that and feeling it and sensing it, it could mean that also too that you're deep down in your shivers. Oh, geez, I'm going to swore then. Because now spirit are attacking my cards and throwing them everywhere, one by one. Well, you don't have to get that angry. Calm down. There's too many of you here tonight. There's just whatever that was. How do I say this? Whatever that was, you are in a far better circumstance with yourself now than anything else. Yeah. And there is no other way of saying that, but at times at times you still question your own ability, though. Spirit keeps saying whatever happened when you're age of 19 and 20, you kind of need to have a look at that and and just actually work out what that was, but work out what triggers you to go back to that particular scenario. To me it's a bit too okay. I'm not going to go into that any further, Jordan, because whatever that is, I think you still need a bit of work on it, but I think you know that. But please don't doubt yourself in what you're doing today. You're a changed man from a lot of things from back in your early years, and you've worked through a lot of things, and henceforth you've come out like, a better person, but you just have to be mindful on what those little triggers are. And if you need to talk to me in another session or whatever about those triggers, well, then we will look at that. Yeah. Who have I got? Done that, I've 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 done that. Okay. Looks like I've done all the paid ones. Going to jump to this. I've seen your name a few times. It's my birthday. Happy birthday for today. I hope you've had a great day. Please read for me. I'm separated. When do you think my husband will come back? Does my father have any messages regarding my separation? Okay. First thing I want to say to you, my love, is your question of, when do you think my husband will come back? Does that mean you believe your husband will come back? Sorry, you've written a few messages. I'm just reading that they're all the same thing that you're just trying to get. That's the same. Sorry. Actually, I think that you finally got an answer from the Teachers Council. God, that took a while. But they did. And I told you they would. Let them work on it, sweetheart. Just let them work on it. You can't push that any further. Oh, someone's jumped out at me, so we'll have a look. Okay. Coming back here. Okay. Yeah, I hope you've had a great day for your birthday. I think that's wonderful. What's your father's advice on your marriage? Wow, Dad. Is Dad I won't say a short man, but I don't see him as 6'4" or anything either. Did he have an issue with his lower back? That's the first thing that came through, that he had an issue with his back. I actually want to say it was started off in the centre of his back and then went to his lower back. If this is your dad, or it could be another spirit. So I'll see what he has to say. Who is this idiot? Sorry, I've just seen that I've just had a people have got nothing better to do than attack other people's lives. If she was so good, she could do one herself. Anyway. Oh, and I see we've got some people from Ireland and the UK and all sorts of places tonight. That's wonderful. Andrew, I just saw one of your comments. I don't know what it refers to. They're like fixing a crack in a wall with bubble gum. Anyway, getting back to I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Is it Evie Qua? Yeah, I just keep seeing this man that had like spinal issues, starting from the centre of his back and radiating down to the base of his spine, but had trouble walking towards the end. But tolerated, but I had a high tolerance of pain because he tolerated it for quite some time, which is, sometimes unusual. But yeah, like a strong man as such, like a strong man mentally as well as physically, in being able to tolerate pain like that. So good on him for that. I'll pat him on the back. That's an extraordinary thing that he's done there. But okay, did he have and this is going to get a little bit personal, did he have some underlying questions about your partner? I'm hoping you can be jumping in here. Jordan, my pleasure. Why was she blocked? I don't know. Philippa, I'll get to you in a second. I just need to finish with this one. Evie Clark, can you jump in and let me know if you're still here? I just want to double check the spirit I have is your dad. I don't know where you're even connecting from. I will say to you though that what I'm hearing is that if I have got your dad, what I'm hearing is that there was certain times where they didn't see eye to eye. There were certain things that they didn't agree on in life. And I guess that also too put a little bit of separation between you guys as well. No, she's not coming up, are you? I don't know whether it's a he or she. You're not coming up, so I'm not sure if you're still here. I don't know whether I want to proceed with someone that's not still here. Then, if you're watching this back later, please let me know if that was your dad that I have, and also too, in regards to, hubby coming back. There is quite a few things that have to be reconciled. It's not just one or two things that there's been issues with. There's actually quite a few. So what I do get shown is 6 to 8, which is which is quite a lot to drink. It's not alcohol. Trust me, it was a cup of tea I had an hour and a half ago. What I do see is that these 6 or 8 things, I don't see them all as being major, though. I see that a few of them are major, but a few of them are tacked on to some of the major things that you've got to work through. Be open and honest. And I say that with respect because I feel there's a secret somewhere in there. And if everything is going to be reconciled, then that secret also has to come out. And I won't go into that part any further because that's not fair. But I do feel that if you sit down and both of you and what I mean secret-wise, both of you come to the table with absolutely everything. And if that means you have to bullet point things down just so you can, come to the table with a lot of questions that you need answered and all that sort of stuff, then please do so. Because the more open and honest you are, it may not feel great on the day, but it will clear the air for everything to start afresh. Yeah. So that's where I need you to go with that, because it's really, really important that everything, and I mean everything, is disclosed. Yeah. So I will leave that there. That one, Jenny. I'll come to you in a second. I've just seen what you've. I haven't read it all, but I've just seen that you popped something. I'll come to you in a second. And I need to go to Philippa, who sorted out her PayPal. Isn't technology wonderful sometimes? No. Will my claim settle this year and for the amount I've asked for? Also, will I get the amputation I've requested? Okay. The claim part, unfortunately, is going to drag. There's been a huge amount of information that has been given over, and a huge amount of there's medical stuff, there's mental stuff. When I say that, I mean mental health stuff. There's there's character stuff. There's so much paperwork that I want to say it's like me sitting here like sifting through like a 10,000 page book. That's how much paperwork spirit throws at me, which is really bizarre because I don't want to see that much paperwork. But it's like they have so much and they've gone through so much, but I don't see why they won't come up with their answer. Will you have to supply more? Yes, I think that you do, even though that to me, there's just a bucket load of it there. To me, they don't need any more. But to me, this is a stalling tactic, okay? Oh, okay. Spirit says one of your worst traits in life is not being patient. However, they are asking you to be patient because it will favor you at the end of the day. And this is probably why they're stalling, because they know they're going to have to pay it out. Okay. And yeah, spirit is just in hindsight, spirit is just like a they're not laughing at you, but it's almost like, why delay the inevitable when we have so much we can just answer that today? Okay, so that's how much information they have, that it can be answered today, but they will draw it out. Do I see it this year? No, I actually don't, but I actually see it early after Christmas and New Year. So I kind of feel like the excuse will be there's not quite enough. Okay, you've written 3 years long enough. Look, I get it. I get it. I had, I can't say too much, but I had somebody, I'll just say somebody, that had a workers' comp information, and it was against a massive government body, and they made sure they almost put this woman in a grave just to hide the fact that they were guilty. And it was a massive government body, and this person had, and I mean bucket loads, they had like a shopping trolley, like those cart things, like folder after folder after folder of evidence, and it went on and it went on, and they wouldn't say they were liable even though all the evidence was there. And what their barristers end up doing, which is and this is just personal information that I probably want you to keep an eye on. So this part isn't from a spirit, this is a personal part that I want you to keep an eye on, is that when you have a claim as such, if it goes past a certain time frame, it becomes obsolete. So please look into that. Please check what date you have and find out from your lawyer the last date that you can be in court with this, because then you have something that you can really be jumping up and down to attack on. Yeah, because I know 3 years. Look, if you're saying 3 years is long enough, then you would be coming up to a certain time. I think it is. Oh, I couldn't say for sure. I don't know if it's 3.5 or it hits the 4-year mark. But if somebody doesn't accept liability after it goes past a certain amount of years, even if you have all the right evidence, then past that certain date, it becomes obsolete. And the court sometimes, I went with this particular lady, and the judge said, I know everything you're saying is 100% correct. And today, this big government body accepted liability, but you are 2 months outside the date, so it's obsolete. Now, this was worth millions to her, and it was 2 months outside the date, and the judge would not overrule it back in. So the other party sat there laughing their heads off because they knew they could draw it out, and they did. I actually took it to Channel 9 and Channel 7, and both letters that I got back was they're too big of a government body to put it on air. Now, that particular client of mine, that day, I had to get someone from her family to come in and help because she sat in a gutter in the rain for over 4 hours. She was inconsolable. Like, it was just, we had everything. And that's what they do, So personally, that is my personal comment to you, to please check the dates, because I know that I know that you have enough evidence, and I know, but if spirits say to me that it's going to be settled just after Christmas, then I still want you to check the dates, because if the dates happen to be around that time, then I need you to push that forward, and then I need to go against spirit, and I don't often go against spirit, but spirit has no, exact timing as such on those sorts of things, so I'm wary of that, and I love that, I love that spirit gives me time frames, but because I know personally this particular other incident, I really want you to be proactive and check the date, yeah, because that's really, really important. And but also too, if it is where Spirit is saying like just after Christmas into the new year, for instance, if your date was the 1st of Feb, I'd still be even bringing that forward, because they do close down. They do close, like, magistrates, all that sort of stuff. They all close down for that month, and sometimes they don't come back to the end of January. And if that end of January you get in and they adjourn it, that could take you past that date. Yeah. So I just need you to be very mindful of that. The other part of your question, it's still a bit debatable, but I feel that you will get the particular outcome that you want. It's quite particular surgery, and I guess they have to make sure that everything that's left, if that's the way of saying it, everything that's left. I love you. You're sitting here knowing me like you can see me. Bless you. They have to make sure that everything that's left can still function to its best capacity, if that makes sense. And that can sometimes take time, because you need an array of specialists to be able to actually sort that out, where they can be probably 85 to 90% positive. Yeah. Because when you've got like a couple of your urologists and your blood people and your orthopedics and all this sort of stuff together, everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to sort of say their bit and do their diagrams and do their 3D effects and all that sort of stuff to make sure that everything is still the way they want it to function afterwards. Yeah. So I think that will be delayed a little bit longer, but I think that's delayed for a good reason, so you can get the best help with that you possibly can. Yeah. So, and I at the end of the day, I actually think that goes far better than you could even imagine. So I hope all that is beneficial to you, and I hope that has helped you. And anyone who's had a reading tonight, if any of you are still there, if it's all made sense to you, or if it's validated, if it's from Spirit or whatnot, can you please jump onto my Ms Tique psychic medium page and leave a review, or write write how it radiated with you, or how it validated with you, and all that sort of stuff. Because reviews, I can't write my own reviews, but reviews from people who have had like a first-hand experience, then that helps my business grow. Yeah. And I'd be very appreciative if you can all do that if you've had a reading. Now, Jenny, I'm coming back to you. I've had someone for a very long time ago come back into my life. At the beginning, I was very happy with this, but now I have doubts. Just some things he has said and he's saying just doesn't sit right with me. Does Spirit have any advice for me? Thank you. Okay, let's have a look. Without Spirit, just for a moment, if your gut feelings are telling you there's something wrong, I have said this on TV for years. On Psychic TV, I used to say it every week, your gut feelings are 99.9% correct every single time. And I can't say that strongly enough, because it is. Your gut feelings will override anything. And sometimes your gut feelings, come across as a bit flippant, and then your head goes, oh, that doesn't make sense, so I'm going to go with my head. But you realize at the end of the day that your gut feelings were correct. And that's because they are 99.9% correct every single time. So if you're already feeling that it's not quite right and your gut's already telling you that, please take note of it, okay? And I'm also going to have a look at a couple of cards and wait to see what Spirit drops in my head as well, and see where we go. Okay. So one of the cards I've got is to disregard all the niceties that have been said. Spirit are agreeing with that. Because your gut feelings are right. Something is not quite 100% right there. And I say this with the greatest respect, because I know I know a short time ago you lost your son, and God rest his soul, and he does rest in peace, and you know darn well, you know, he sends his love to you quite often, which is quite beautiful. But I think that this person, after so long, and this is going to sound horrible, I really don't want to make you get upset, but I have to say it as I hear it. I think this person seems to think that you have gained something from that, and that is the most disgusting thing that I've probably said all night. Probably discussing that I've said all week, actually. But I have to say it as I hear it, my love, and I certainly don't want to upset you. But to me, if somebody actually is doing that because of that, then they need to be gone. You don't need to give that person so much of your time, because there's other people in your life that like you for you, and they don't want anything from you. You know what I mean? You're kind of a person that doesn't associate with a lot of people, but the ones that you do are generally solid. But I don't find this one solid. Okay, I find this one is up to a bit of mischief, and hopefully wanting to gain something out of it. And I know that sounds awful, but one of the cards that I've got, in hindsight, is don't rush into a lot of things, because also too, without what I've heard from Spirit about his character, also too, you're still quite vulnerable. And there are some people in the world that take advantage of vulnerable people. And vulnerability doesn't always have to come through where you've lost a loved one. Vulnerability could be just because you don't feel 100% yourself, or, you've, I don't know, you've been terminated from a job, or you can't get the job you want, or, a loved one splits up with you or something. Like there's many times that we can feel quite vulnerable in our lives. And there's some people in this world that prey on that. They want that vulnerability, because you kind of, and with respect, but this goes for everybody. If I was in a vulnerable state, someone could try and take something from me. And whether that's someone who all of a sudden says, I want to wine you and dine you, and I think you're wonderful, I've known you for years, but haven't been able to connect with them. Well, why are they saying it when I'm in a vulnerable state? Does that mean that person just might want to jump into bed with you? Does that mean that person, wants to gain part of my property? Does that mean that person, wants something from me to clean me out? Like, there could be a multitude of reasons, but I'm always very wary of people from past in our lives that steer clear for whatever reason. They half time they don't even tell you why, but they disappear for so long, but all of a sudden they come back. Now, if someone goes overseas and lives overseas for 20 years, that's a pretty good excuse. I mean, because you're not overseas, you're not enjoying their company overseas and all that sort of stuff. But if somebody is kind of in the vicinity and is really not your friend, and doesn't how do I say it, doesn't engage with you quite often, it really makes me wary. And yeah, I am really sad this person has kind of done that. I know exactly. Okay, well, that's really sad. And that's what I got from Spirit, which is why I was probably trying to say it so delicately, that, because, because it hasn't been that long since you've lost Mark, and for someone to automatically, come in after that, yeah. Sweetheart, you are worth far better than that. You are in a delicate and vulnerable state of grief. And my heart is with you on that, and it has been. And I, as I said at the time, I was privileged that you invited me to view his funeral from afar. But you allowed me the privacy, of doing that. And I felt certain things that, watching his funeral, and I heard from him moments like, it's all coming back to me, like, when I felt him throughout the funeral, and I felt him, get up and stand by your side and stuff like this. It was, It was beautiful that you invited me in, and I was blessed to be part of that. And if somebody is coming back in your life after so long, so soon after he passed, then no, I have to stick to my guns on that. So I don't think he's good for you, my love. I'm going to leave that one there, my sweet. I've got to come back to Jean, if you're still here. You asked me something, and I don't know what you asked. And I actually owe you a reading as well. House, selling house. Here we go. Found it. Selling house. Jenny, you're very, very welcome. Always welcome, my love. Always welcome. Yes. I found it, Jean. The crazy things we do sometimes. I know you don't hate me, but you know. Yeah. Okay. What have I got for you? Now, are you trying to excuse me, are you trying to get a new house? Like, are you trying to actually move into one? I can't remember. What did you say? Oh, no. Selling. Yeah? Selling house. Can I just ask you, because I've got a couple of spirits in my ear, which are my spirit guides, but I've also drawn a couple of cards as well. Can I ask you if there's still one more room to fix or to finalize something in one room before it sells? Does that make sense? Like, I'm being guided into it's not a bedroom. I'm being guided into what I want to say is like a lounge room or a study that is not quite, I have to say it as I hear it, not quite up to scratch, where somebody would walk in and say, oh, why is that like that? We don't know why that is. Oh, thank you. Hey, Spirit just walked me in this room and I'm thinking, where am I? It doesn't feel homely, it doesn't feel complete. And I say everything with the greatest respect, my love. I mean, you know that. But it was like something feels not finished. So therefore, people coming through, if you've started the process, excuse me, of people coming through, they're all going to kind of focus on that room. Now, I don't know what you can do cosmetic-wise, because I don't want you spending a lot of money, but cosmetic-wise, if there's any way of changing something in that room, changing the appearance, changing the outlay, changing something that is just more appealing when you walk in, because I kind of get the sense that when you stand in the doorway of that room, instantly everyone just kind of goes, oh, and walks away. Nobody seems to go in there, because when people buy properties, I mean, I'm a bit of a stickler for if I'm going to go buy a property, I'm bad because I will stand there and go, oh, the painting, the painting shit, or the lights are crap, I've got to fix that, got to fix that, and then I'll offer less money. Do you know what I mean? Okay. It's a bad house. Thank you. Okay. If you're not actually there, then you probably can't do what Spirit were asking to do about doing some like cheap cosmetic, and that's just with furnishings and stuff, doing some like cheap cosmetic stuff with it. So that's where Spirit were taking me. But if you've already left, then that can't happen. it just seems to be that when people walk in and stand at that particular doorway, no one seems to be able to visualize what they can do with that room. Okay. And that's quite sad, because really there's a lot of people that, even when people are selling homes with brand new kitchens and brand new bathrooms or whatever, people still spend thousands to change it because it's not made the way they want it. So it's a shame that people aren't visualizing what they can do with that room. But I guess I want to say, because there's probably work to do on so many other rooms, that they're not being able to visualize what's in that room. So I actually have to say to you, probably not going to sell in a hurry. However, there's someone that's going to be coming at you virtually towards the last week of winter. So I'm being shown the last week of winter, that's going to offer you money that is less than what you have asked. Please consider that carefully. And the reason why I say that is Spirit is saying you may not get another offer. It may sit there for even longer, and then it's going to be harder and harder to sell as time goes by, especially if you can't go in there and do some cosmetic stuff and, fancy curtains and, I don't know, floor coverings and whatever else to make it, look. So to me, it's going to sound horrible for me to say, probably going to take a loss on it, but not necessarily a loss on what it's cost you, a loss from the figure that you probably had in your head. But Spirit says to me, it still will be a pretty good offer. Last week of winter, and be very mindful of that, because you may not get another one for a very long time. And I'm more concerned about the longer this goes on, the value will keep coming down, and then you'll end up losing more than what you can already. Okay, what if you just come in here? Your kids can they go in there and do some cosmetic stuff? Because if they can, do that. So then we want to see what comes around in winter to see what this offer is. And I don't want you spending, like, don't get me wrong, I don't want you spending thousands of dollars just to titivate this up. I'm talking about, those quick makeovers that if the room is a bit dull, then you put brightly coloured, rugs or cushions on the couch, or, blinds, or I'm just plucking things out of the air here if I say, fuchsia hanging curtains, whatever, that are made to look like silk, but they're not. They're just polyester. Do you know what I mean? Like cheap cover-up type things. If that is what the kids can do, then have a crack at that, because that's where Spirit was leading me in the first instance. Of if you did that, then people are going to be more drawn to having a longer look at the property, and by having a longer look at the property, they're going to be able to find things in there, and it will be easier for them to actually visualize it. Yeah, they just and cosmetic stuff. I mean, it seems funny how we would rely on that to sell a home, but trust me, these days when people are putting stuff on the market, I can't believe this. I didn't believe it at first until I found someone I could trust in the industry to go check it out. But people actually pay now real estates to to come in, get the people to put all their stuff in storage, and they bring these decorator in to put some new, I don't know, couch and fancy cushions and rugs and whatever else, and it's not even the seller's furniture. And I go, it's hard enough paying someone commission to sell your home anyway. How many thousands you got to add on for that? I'd be like, no, it can be solved with my furniture in it, like seriously. But anyway, if you can get that organised, then I think you'll have a far better chance of getting a lot closer to the asking price than what you would if you didn't, if that makes sense. But I still have, of course, that last week of winter in. Okay. It just gave you so much anxiety about that. I'm not surprised because, in your mind, it would be like, why isn't it selling? Why isn't it selling? Yes, I know it's old, but why? Why? And the more you asked why, it's a what if in hindsight. So it would play on your subconscious all the time, my love. And when something like that plays on your mind and plays on your mind, it creates a lot of anxiety. So now, hopefully, won't give you as much anxiety. And hopefully things will move on up the ladder for you with that, yeah? And I'm so glad I could help you with that one. Mark me with that Santa hat. I can't find it. Neither can his Annalise. He wore it all day in my photo because he was so happy. Okay. I don't have him at this point to be able to tune in to tell you where it is. But I will try and tune in at another time and see if we can work out where it is. I mean, to me, it's tucked in a drawer. And that's just quickly throwing it out there into any spirit kind of saying, where is this Santa hat? To me, it's tucked in a drawer. So I don't know the layout of your home, but if is there somewhere, okay, well, I said I'm going to answer it later, but it seems to be now, is there somewhere where you have got a set of drawers that have got 6 pull-out, like cane or something, baskets? Because if you have, like I see this 6-drawer scenario, and the middle drawer on the right-hand side is what I'm drawn to. So if you have a piece of furniture in your home like that, go have a look. But also to have a look at the very back where it's in that particular middle drawer, because I feel like it's tucked under and possibly could fall down to the bottom drawer, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's definitely a 6-drawer piece of furniture. Interesting. Okay. Okay, we've gone 2 hours and 10, and that's probably me done for the night. I do want to thank everybody for joining. If I didn't get to you tonight, please understand. Thank you, Andrew. Please understand that I try and get to everybody I can. I'm probably one of the longest ones that do this on Facebook Live. And because of that, that's why I ask for the donations into PayPal, because it is like an energy exchange. Not every person on Facebook that does these lives, connects as deeply with spirit as what I do. So I always pride myself on my, spirit connections. I'm a natural born psychic medium. So, I have what you would call, look at you all jumping in with all these compliments. This is awesome. Look at you all. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. Oh my God, you're so funny, you guys. Thank you for all your wonderful compliments. Emma, I'll just quickly say to you, surgery, not for probably about another 2 months. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly, because I know you've asked that a couple of times throughout the night, and I've just seen it come up again. So probably in about 2 months, but have a further discussion with your surgeon, please. There seems to be some things that aren't quite nutted out yet. So please have another really in-depth conversation with your surgeon. If there's words that the surgeon is using that you don't understand, please stop that person talking and ask them to describe it in a different way to you so you fully understand. I want you to fully understand that particular surgery before you go under, if that makes sense. So thank you for your question. Yes, it's been probably about a month since I've been on. I had a cold. I lost my voice for like nearly 3 weeks, which is why I wasn't here. You can't do this without a voice. And often spirit does attack my voice anyway, because that's where sometimes my voice changes and then the spirit's voice comes through instead of mine. So sometimes that can kind of go off there for a while. But I did have a cold for, and a few weeks. So yes, Philippa, the sexy phone voice, it's still here. It was here a month ago, if you remember, because we were talking about it that night. So I still have my sexy phone voice. But I want to thank any new people that have joined tonight. I do appreciate you joining. As I started to say, yes, the exchange of energy, for a guaranteed read throughout the live. then you can donate $10 into my PayPal. And if I don't have anyone that does that, or for whatever reason, then, you know, I will randomly do others, but they won't be so much in depth, if that makes sense. I think it's fair that the ones who pay get a little bit more in depth. I've enjoyed sharing some funny stories with you guys at the beginning. You all seem to love that, which is, well, maybe we'll just have one night of talking about stories. But anyway, that's all good. Please remember to keep your eye open for on my Facebook page of Reach Out Q&A live TV, is what I've called it. And Michael DeMarco and I will be, you know, focusing on mental health issues, domestic violence, all sorts of things. And it will just give everybody, again, another platform to either to explain their story, tell their story, you know, seek some validation on whether they've done the right thing or whatnot. It's virtually to get awareness out there how certain things can, you know, certain things can affect us in so many ways. So yeah. Thank you so much, lovely. It's great to hear. Rebecca, you've been waiting to see on your Facebook. To save you missing it ever again, either go on my Mystique Psychic Medium page, Facebook page, or go onto this page, the Mystic or Mystique Live TV, and click on the notifications buttons, and then you'll always be notified when, you know, because when the schedule goes out, when there's a live, StreamYard put it up, and there's a notification button, and then you'll never miss one ever again. It'll give you the time, the date, and everything. So you put in your diary. They are always generally for about 2 hours. They will always generally start at 8 p.m. and go through to about 10. We have gone over that, so, and yeah, my voice is kind of dying on me, which is typical after you go this long with talking. But again, you know, okay, I don't know why you don't get one. I can't say I've seen your name that often. I do apologise. But yeah, it's what I see on the side of my, you know, laptop is 4 maximum comments at any one time. And if I'm talking directly to screen, or if I've zoned out and I'm talking to spirit, you know, 20 or 30 of those comments can go by and I don't even see them. So I'm very, very sorry that I've missed you. You know, please press the notifications button and get notified when I'm on again, and I'll try and get to you as soon as I can. As I keep saying to people, to guarantee a reading, you know, just donate $10 into my PayPal. That will guarantee your reading every time I'm on live. So just do that, and, you know, that's what will come through for you. Thank you, everybody, for putting up with me. Thank you, everybody, for loving the stories that we had earlier. That's all fun. Keep an eye out for the other live that we will, when Michael and I choose a date, possibly could be like, you know, I'm just throwing it out there, could possibly be a Wednesday night. I could probably go back to doing these lives Tuesdays and Thursday nights. I just have to rework my schedule. My schedule has changed dramatically lately. So I just have to get that on par, and then I could, you know, then I can come back to, excuse me, to working out my live schedule properly. And yeah, Anusha, if you've sent me a message for a private reading, they are, of course, paid readings where you can have half an hour or an hour with me via video or via you know, phone or in person or stuff like that. But I will see what that message says, and I will respond to you. That's for sure. Margarita, thank you so much, lovely. I didn't get to you tonight, sweetheart, but thank you for joining me through all the way through. Michael, I just threw that out. I just threw that out. I wasn't throwing it out there for you to say yes, no, or whatever, but, you know, I mean, you and I both are, you know, supposed to be on the Psychic TV lines as well. So there's lots of diary entries that probably, you know, you have to do in your ordinary day, as well as what I have to do in my ordinary day or evening, to work through a couple of things. And then you do lives privately. I do these lives. So there's kind of a lot to, you know, muster through. But of course, once we get the our diary's right, we can, announce it and move forward with it. But I kind of had in my head that, Wednesdays might be a good night, but we'll see. So again, thank you everybody for joining. It's been a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you all soon. Anyone who's missed, please just go onto the page, press the notifications, and they will come up. You'll be notified, and it will all be good. But yeah, thank you so much. Enjoy your evening, everybody. Thank you. Yes, hot drink, I will.